Hey there, slutties, it's Sammie, and I got some news for you. The inaugural Exotica Minneapolis is taking over the Minneapolis Convention Center June 26th through the 28th, and trust me, this one is coming in loud, proud, and absolutely unforgettable. Step inside a full-blown playground of pleasure, curiosity, and connection. Jaw-dropping live stage shows that keep your eyes glued and your pulse racing. Eye-opening seminars where you might just learn something deliciously new. And of course, an interactive dungeon built for exploration with consent and boundaries always front and center. And of course, the chance to meet your favorite adult stars, adult legends, and creators up close and personal. And yes, as always with Exotica, the staple of the convention that we love so much, Ladies Free Friday. So grab your crew, make it a night, and let it spiral into stories you'll be telling months from now. Lock in your tickets before they disappear at exoticaexpo.com. Can't wait to see you at Exotica.
No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut.
Switch me on and let's switch it up. Hey there, slutties, and welcome to another episode of the Suburban Slut Podcast, your home for the kinkery, for the sluttery, for the fuckery, and everything in between. Come on in, let's get comfy. Shoes off, pants off, inhibitions at the door. It is I, your Pharaoh Delight, your fantastic host, SammieSwitch, welcoming you back to the neighborhood. Why, hello, so glad you joined us this week for a very, very special episode. But before we get to the specialness of the episode, let's get our housekeeping. Remember, we do have house rules. We gotta follow the rules. We ask for consent. Come on, everyone. You know the rules. Boys, girls, theys, thems. So, of course, for the promotional portion of the evening, as you heard earlier in the episode, of course, the inaugural Exotica Minneapolis is taking over the Minneapolis Convention Center June 26th through 28th. And trust me, this one's coming in loud. It's coming in proud and absolutely unforgettable. Of course, you can get your tickets at exoticaexpo.com. Come see the stars. Come stay for the panels. Just, why don't you come already? So make sure to get your tickets for that, of course. And what else? Of course. Excuse me. It is a little late tonight. I have had a lot of caffeine. It's been a very long day for Papa Sammie. But we're going to get through because I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to make sure you wake up Wednesday morning with a fresh cup of Sammie. So let's keep it going. What do you say? How can you support the show and grow the neighborhood? Well, like finds like, and this is where you can find other slutties supporting the show. Of course, for your merch, Suburban Slut Podcast branded merchandise with our gorgeous logo on there. Thank you to Daniel Hayden for the logo, of course. You want to go to suburban-slut-podcast.myspreadshop.com. Tank tops, hoodies, tote bags, football shirts, I think they're called, baseball shirts, all sorts of shirts, all sorts of stickers, all sorts of goodies to show your neighborhood that you are a proud suburban slut. So make sure to head over there and get your merch today. Of course, still working on Fansly and OnlyFans. So Fansly is SammieSwitch. OnlyFans is SammieSwitch, the number 4, the letter U. I do have a agenda. I do have a calendar. I am going to start getting more active on those sites. We have gotten a few subscribers already. Thank you so much. This is the testing phase. Eventually, once we get a big enough catalog of sluttery, probably like in a few months, or when new content collaborations become available, that's when we might start charging a low nominal fee, test the waters, see how it goes. So make sure to head over there. Follow us for free. You can always follow us for free. You know that. And hey, follows still help. So please, go follow. Of course, on Instagram, Suburban Slut Podcast, and X/Twitter at... No, we did change this back. Suburban Slut Pod. It didn't feel right changing the name of the Twitter X because it really is for the show. It's just me posting sluttery for the show and occasionally throwing out some collabs or interviews. So we did move it back to Suburban Slut Pod on X/Twitter. Of course, Fat Life, SammieSwitch. Facebook, SammieSwitch, and the podcast page, Suburban Slut Podcast, with lives coming soon. I keep saying that. It is also, I have a master agenda for the summer, which is going to be the purpose of this episode, is to tell you about what's coming for the summer. We're cool for the summer. YouTube, yes, we have been growing rapidly on YouTube. I was surprised that these sluts are out on the YouTube so much. So yes, thank you to all the people that like, smash, hit, subscribe, and whatever that jitter jatter is. But yes, thank you for following the show. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for watching. We're coming along. And of course, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And of course, most importantly, my slutties, I miss hearing from you. I know the spring was very busy, but we are going to get back into emails. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a sex question, if you need some guidance, if you need some help, or just someone's, honest truth input on something, suburbanslutpodcast@gmail.com. I will read your email. I will give you a response on the show and even a shout out, as long as that's okay with you. As long as you consent to the shout out, I'll give you the shout out. But yes, please send me anything you want to talk about, anything you want read on the air. I am here for it. So let's go. Let's get slutty for the audience, shall we? All right. And of course, for the sponsors, the people that help the show with samples, with goodies, with support. Of course, exoticaexpo.com to get your tickets for Minneapolis and start eyeballing New Jersey. I'm just saying. Just see, man, want to eyeball New Jersey. Of course, STD Hero. Of course, I say of course a lot. I'm really sorry. I'm going to work on that. STD Hero, I've teamed up with Better Life Science to bring you STD Hero, an at-home testing kit, which an unboxing will be filmed this weekend. So check out the YouTube for that. Of course, Suburban for 10% off your order, because what's better than being informed? Being safe. And knowing your status is being safe, being informed, and being slutty. So, let's get down to it. What's, nothing's going on with me. It is my birthday Sunday, and typically, this is where we're going to get a little vulnerable, we're going to get a little honest. I do not have a track record of good birthdays. I keep it low. Part of my personal journey and growth and therapy, before today, someone's like, oh my God, let's get together. No, I'm okay. I don't want the disappointment. I don't want, make a big deal and then no one shows up. I was very not about celebrating my birthday. And now through the help of therapy and friends and being more open and vulnerable, it's okay to celebrate yourself. And it's okay to be excited for something about you. Normally, I am a giver. Normally, I like to make my people feel special. And before, I wouldn't let my people do that for me. So here's me being vulnerable, being honest. I turned 46 on May 31st. I am a Gemini, a delightful Gemini, as you all know. I will put out in the show and on the socials, if you would like to send me a gift. I will include my Amazon link. I know you see all those posts all the time. Oh, send me something on my Amazon. But this is us celebrating over a year of the show. We're almost at 4,000 downloads. My birthday, Pride Month. So I will include that link if you feel so gratuitous. Or if you want, send me anything via email. Send me a birthday card. Send me just an email saying happy birthday. I would gladly appreciate that. Legit. It would really make my day. So yeah, anything you feel up to sending. Email address, suburbanstuffpodcast@gmail.com, the Amazon link in the show notes, or just whatever. DM me. Let's chat. So the birthday is a-coming. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I have to take a quick pause because my sausage is burning. I will explain that in one moment. And thank you for being patient. I'm actually recording this, my dialogue, my part of the episode right now before bed. It's almost 9 o'clock. I'm very tired. It's been a very long day. I'm also cooking my food for the week because I meal prep. I don't think we've ever talked about this. I'm very boring when it comes to food. I'll make one thing and eat it for the week. So this week it's Italian sausage, rice, veggies, and I'm cooking the sausage now. And then this way tomorrow and for the next 7 days, I'll have rice and sausage for lunch. Trying to get my body in shape. I'm down 5 pounds. We're at 221 right now because the summer's right around the corner. And let's talk about the summer. This summer is going to be fucking crazy. Okay? This is the first real summer I've had with you guys because we took off most of last summer. So what are we going to do? We're going to have a Suburban Slut podcast, Summer of Sluts 26. Slut Summer 26. Love it, right? Slut Summer. Slut Summer. And what's going to in detail for Slut Summer? Well, let's go. First off, guest galore. Yes, we have all the guests coming. We're not going to spoil tonight's guests because they deserve their own intro. Coming up on the show, we have Phil from One Lucky Guy with Honey Butter. The porn icon, Sika, who, spoiler alert, is joining me on my birthday. I am going to interview a porn literal legend icon, groundbreaking, glass ceiling shattering star herself, Sika. We also have Richard Pacheco tomorrow, and I know he's going to correct me on that last name, so I apologize in advance, Richard. Also, Sweet Butterfly will be on the show. We have V from Zcash still coming on the show. Holly from Sweetly Sassy Toys. Goddess Bats. The return of Susan motherfucking Bratton. Round 2. We already have some great stuff to talk about. It's going to be a long episode. Cannot wait to have Susan back in the neighborhood. Miss her so much. Cannot wait. And that's it right now. But also, Sasha from Exotica will be coming on the show. This is just off the top of my head. I don't have my calendar on me. For those that I did forget, because there's 2 more. That's how busy my summer is already. I am jam-packing the content. I want my slutties to have great podcast episodes to listen to on those long drives, long flights. I want to keep you entertained. I want to keep you at attention. And, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. So speaking of fun, I am going to be participating in a lot of fun. So, it is my proud honor to announce I, SammieSwitch, am going to be doing something never before done as far as I know. And I think everyone's going to love it. I am going to be attending multiple shoot houses this summer. What is a shoot house? Well, let me tell you. It's where content creators go and they, mostly pay a nominal fee. There's a company behind the house. There's other collaborators in the house, and you just get to shoot content for the weekend with other collaborators. with other fansly, with other OnlyFans, with other loyal fans models and performers, all that. But I'm also, oh, maybe I said that backwards. I'm going to be shooting content. So please follow the socials, follow the OnlyFans, follow the Fansly. I will be having official produced content coming this summer. And you're not going to want to miss it. Guarantee. So my first one, I have a Kansas City shoot on July 20th. Well, that's Sunday, July 26th. So my calendar's already wrong. Thanks. It's Friday the 24th through Sunday the 26th. So that's coming up in just about 60 days. I also have the utmost privilege. I can't even put this into words. My love, my soulmate, my twin chaos gremlin, Bella Bear, has invited me to a shoot house in Florida at the end of August. So yes, I will be traveling to Kansas City. I will be traveling to Florida. And the part I left out is I'm not just shooting content. I'm not just making great videos. I'm going to be doing podcast interviews. So as far as I know, this is the first time a content creator has done interviews and also shot content videos, scenes, whatever you want to say. So to wrap this up, that's July, that's August. It falls outside of the summer, but I think we addressed this previously. Unfortunately, I cannot make Minneapolis. Just budget, timing, it's not going to work. And I'm not going to force it because then I'm going to be behind on everything. Brittany, the most amazing person I've ever worked with from Exotica, has graciously moved me to Exotica, New fucking Jersey. That's right. So for all my Jersey people, all my East Coast people, SammieSwitch, the Suburban Sub Podcast, we will be there Friday, October 23rd, Saturday, October 24th, Sunday, October 25th. Oh, and you already know, I've lined up another shoot house for that weekend as well. So I will be shooting content in Kansas City. I will be shooting content in Florida. I will be shooting content in New Jersey. I mean, if you're going to do something, fucking do it, right? So that's what we're doing. Slut Summer 26 is lining up to be fucking epic. Cannot wait to give more details on that. So, of course, you know where to follow us. You know what to look for. You know what to watch out for. Now, I'm considering this a birthday gift to myself. I finally had the absolute pleasure. So when I started this show, Tish and I were going over like, oh, let's start doing interviews. And, we did Sluts Party, we did Bowie, all those interviews up front. And, interviews, we've gotten tons and tons since then. The very first name, when she asked me, who would you like to interview? I said sex educator and artist, Rain DeGrey. They are amazing. Their content, their wisdom, the way they speak. I've listened to them on countless podcasts. Shout out to Shameless Sex Podcast, because that's where one of the first podcasts I heard Rain DeGrey from. And they were talking about pegging, and we're going to get into that in our interview. I finally had her on the show. I finally had them on the show, sorry. And it was amazing. I had a wonderful time. I felt very just me. And spoiler alert, we got lost in the chat sauce, and we've already decided that they are going to come back for another episode down the road. So Rain DeGrey Part 2 will happen. So for right now, enough about me. You know where to find all the stuff. I pointed it out. I'll list it. Content creators listening, I'm based outside of the Chicago area, Northern Illinois. If you're looking for collabs, if you're looking for interviews, suburbansubpodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up. I'll be glad to do either or both. We could do a podcast interview and then shoot the content right after. No, don't. People don't steal that idea. Oh my God, that's a genius fucking idea. I copyright it. Copyright it. May 26th at 9:15 p.m. I am copywriting that idea. You can't steal it. I'll sue you. I'll curse you like Denhausen. Curse. So, without further ado, let me intro Rain. Boys, girls, theys, thems. I hope you have an amazing week. We're going to kick off Pride next episode. It's going to be amazing. Slut Summer 26. Buckle the fuck up and let's get slutty. But now, tonight, I have a very special house guest, slutties. It is my pleasure to host Rain DeGrey, an international educator, writer, and presenter who has been teaching and writing about kink, relationships, and sex education since 2009. Beginning as a fetish model, pro-dom, and competitive wrestler, they discovered a passion for education. Known for their clear, humorous, and engaging teaching style, they aim to make sex education accessible and fun. They have presented at venues including Harvard, Northwestern, Adler University, Kink.com, The Citadel, Dark Odyssey, Folsom Street Fair, Thunder in the Mountains, and BoundCon. Rain continues to teach, write, podcast guest, and offer one-on-one coaching. Learn more about her classes and services at raindegray.com. Without further ado, my slutties, enjoy Rain DeGrey. And as always, stay safe and stay slutty. Rain, thank you so much for making space for us today, and welcome to the neighborhood. I'm so glad to have you today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And now, as with all our house guests, we always like to start off with a little foreplay. It's a game for us to warm up before we go a little deeper into the conversation. So, of course, Rain, do you consent and want to play with me?
I do consent. I'm not quite sure what the play is. I consent to negotiation for play.
And consent can always change. Yep. Boys, girls, theys, thems. That's one thing we preach every week on this show. Consent is key, and consent can change anytime. So always be aware. All right. Well, first up, we have, what is your favorite pizza topping combination?
Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this, but
God.
I don't care because it's the truth. I am a pineapple and olives gal. The sweet.
I have heard. Yep.
Cane.
I think that was Deadpool's go-to as well. Pineapples and olives. Now, I love pineapples, but the olives, I don't. Black olives, right?
Black olives. If you haven't had it, you are missing out. So the two flavors, which you wouldn't necessarily think, first off,
God, no.
bread and cheese. You can't go wrong with bread and cheese. Delicious. And then you add that sweet, just melting dopamine bliss of the pineapple, and then a little bit of that sour tang from the black olives.
Dopamine from pineapple. I love that right there. So for this one, so what's a compliment or something that someone said to you that was just knee buckling, like made you blush, like, wow, that is the hottest thing someone has said to me? Just a compliment that really took the wind out of your, well, in a good way, took the wind out of your sails. I'm like, that's not the phrase. Hold on.
So that's actually a really good question. And for me, it's been a number of compliments, and they all are in the same wheelhouse. They're in the same
Yes,
range.
I love that phrase.
Which is complimenting me on my body is so incredibly boring to me, and it's very empty. Because when someone says, I see you, and the most fascinating thing, the most likable thing about you is your meat envelope, which is guaranteed to fail you, is guaranteed to fade. It's the most fickle thing. It's the thing you don't have any control over, but your rapidly fading flesh sack, that's what I find interesting about you. And I'm like, that's, not only is that in my mind a very low effort, weak ass compliment, but it's like, so if that's what you think about me, get back to me in 20 years. And
how's the meat envelope then?
Right, exactly. So I like compliments where people compliment my intelligence or my drive or my skill set. Uh,
Mm,
Things where it's like something I've actually worked for. Because it's not that like
true.
I don't, take care of my body, but it doesn't matter how much I take care of it. It's not going to like look like this in 20 years. And if you're telling me the most interesting thing about me is my flesh,
Eh,
Where
like,
what where can I go with that?
right.
Thanks. It's failing on me. I used to do in-home elder care for 7 years before I
Oh,
became a
wow.
professional naked person. And
Yeah,
I've walked a ton of people through the dying process, through cancer, through colostomy bags, through depends, and flesh inevitably fails. And
I love
complimenting
that
someone on
phrase.
the flesh is the lowest hanging compliment, and it's also something I can't do much with. Because I
Yeah.
too, unless I end up in a car accident, will be in a wheelchair pissing myself in my Depends. Do you think I'm sexy now, baby?
Circle
It's,
back then, like, hey, remember this compliment? How about now?
I do like, because I am a blonde with big tits, when people
Fair.
underestimate me. And then they start
Mm.
talking to me and they're like, oh, you're like smarter than I thought you were.
You're
As
like,
if someone with
thanks?
big tits and a high libido who likes their sexuality doesn't also have some brain cells to rub together.
Yeah.
You are not mutually exclusive.
Right. No, I mean, I will always get a little red in the face if someone's like, "Oh, you're very handsome." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But if they come back with the, "Hey, I listened to your show. You're really funny." I'm like, "Oh, that's what will always hit me." Like you're saying, like actually complimenting my personality or something like that. It definitely goes a lot farther.
It goes a lot further, and I do want to do a small side quest to just unpack what you
Absolutely.
said.
Let me grab my
And
fedora.
and the thing is, complimenting, I'm not going to assume your identity, but I'm going to say for people
Thank
who
you.
don't know what you look like,
Hmm.
you do look like I know that you're not, but a bearded white dude, right? You look like
Yep.
a dude. And the truth is that unless you're fabulously gay, most men don't get physical compliments.
No.
And the greatest burden, the patriarchy suppresses us all. And
Hmm.
what women have to, people that, and indeed, I'm queer, but people look at me and they see a cis, thin, blonde woman with big tits,
True. And the blonde
and
hair.
what the price I need to pay to sit at the table is to be attractive.
Mm.
Am I fuckable above and beyond everything else? What's the body like? When
Right.
um when Caitlyn Jenner transitioned, she was in
Hmm.
her 60s. And what was it when she transitioned? Yeah, but is she hot? Is she fuckable? Is she hot? But would you fuck her? Is she hot? This is an Olympic gold medalist. Yeah, but fuck
Right.
that. She's a chick now. So is she hot?
It changed
She's
instantly.
instantly. And the price that men have to pay to sit at the table is to be competent, knowledgeable, stoic, skilled. And heaven forbid you wake up and you're like, my shoulders aren't feeling that strong. Today, I
Hmm.
don't want to do all the steering. I don't want to be that competent. You have to sit at the table.
Oh.
You have to. So women are drowning in compliments about our flesh, and they're empty. They don't mean anything. I like the way your flesh sits on your bones. Get back to me in 15 years, it's not going to look like that. And for
Right.
men, they don't get complimented on their body. So when a man is complimented on their body or their looks, they're what? Wow.
I
And
legit.
and the reason why men don't get complimented on their body nearly as much as they would like to is because they make it fucking weird. I can walk up to a woman
Hmm.
in the grocery store and be like, you look so good today. You're crushing it. Your outfit is amazing. You're rocking it. You
Yeah.
are fierce. And the woman's like, thank you, and walks on. If I were to walk up in a grocery store and say that to a man, he'd be like,
Oh.
we're going to fuck now, right? So
Right. That's what you're saying,
because
clearly.
what you're saying, you're not complimenting me on my outfit, or how I've put myself together. It means now that you want my penis in you. And it's like, I don't.
Clearly.
So guys get so spazzy about
Hmm.
compliments that they actually cut it off. They make it
Wow.
harder for them to get it because they make and heaven forbid it's another dude complimenting you. Well, that's gay.
Oh God, no.
Don't you can't other dudes can't compliment you. So only women can, but if a
Yep.
woman compliments you, you're like, so then we're fucking. This is one of my favorite examples. I was driving through the city once, and I was sitting in my own car with the
Hmm.
doors locked, listening to the radio, enjoying myself, nice tunes. And I'm
Yeah.
stopped at the crosswalk, and the light is red. And I'm just smiling and having a great time. And
Just
a
being
guy
you.
stops, a total stranger, stops in the middle of the sidewalk, looks
Oh.
at me through the windshield, connects eyes, and points at me because I was smiling. And he
Oh
became
Jesus.
convinced because I was smiling by myself alone in my car behind locked doors. And he caught the smile. He's like,
Yeah.
it's me. You're trying to summon me
Obviously.
off of the sidewalk and into your car. And I was like, no, keep walking. It's not nothing to do with you.
Jesus.
But if you're
Yep.
that thirsty for attention, it can make you act a little squirrely. And then when you
Right.
act squirrely, it actually ironically ends up cutting you off, and it's even harder to get what you were craving in the first place.
See?
And if dudes could be a little bit more chill about compliments
Oh God, it'd be
and
so
and
amazing.
also compliment each other, because women compliment each other all the time, and we're
Yeah,
not
they
trying to
lift each other up.
they lift each other up. So when I talk about how the patriarchy, it suppresses everyone, men, women, non-binary, we're all suppressed. And men
Hmm.
are starving for attention and interaction, but they don't know how to do it in a non-sexual way. So there's
True.
two lonely dudes. You could say to your bro, hey, those your shoes look great. You've been hitting the gym,
Yeah.
right? You're doing some gains. And that would be so nourishing. That's what women do to each other. But men are like, I can't. You're making
I'm
it
not
weird.
gay, bro. It's
You're
like
not gay.
I
So
didn't
you're
say I wanted to suck your dick. I was saying it was a nice shirt.
right. Right. So you're actually not you, hashtag
Yeah.
not all men, are creating
Right.
environments where they end up starving themselves. And
Yeah.
then they're reporting in anguish how deep their hunger pains are. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's always funny to me too because I was just talking to someone yesterday and they brought up like, no offense, cis white male. I'm like, I don't take offense, but I always like to throw in like cis queer male or
right.
something like just to give that little bit of like polish, like, yeah, I know cis.
So I know, I've done my
Yeah.
research. I do know about you. I know you. I'm aware of that. But what I'm
Very queer.
saying is the exterior. Oh yeah, I researched the fuck out of you before I came on this. I
Oh,
know. But
thank
what I'm
you.
saying is if someone just saw you walking down the street,
Oh yeah,
it's just
this
kind of like you do present as, middle class cis white dude. I know that you're not,
absolutely.
but like because I know about you. I mean, we're all way more complex
Oh yeah.
than the world gives us space or bandwidth for. And
Hmm.
one of the greatest services that you can do to yourself is to take up space and be your honest and authentic self. And
Absolutely.
just like you're like, let it be clear that I'm queer, I'm also but I have had queer people, just hardcore, like dedicated in the community queer people, and they're like, well, yeah, Rain, but you really do present as, kind of cis
Oh.
and heteronormative
Gasp.
and you've got pretty privilege and like I'm not saying that I don't believe your identity, but you're living
But
on easy mode. And I'm like, hey man, 20 minutes before this podcast, I'm in my pajamas with no makeup,
yeah,
just total trash demon, just like
it's
chaos
Sunday.
monkey running around. Like I polish up uh, because it's this is what I do.
True.
But if you're only seeing a polished version of me and you think I'm this like total Barbie, I'm like, oh, sweetie,
No. No, no, no,
not
no, no.
I. No, no, no. I mean, the thing is, in the factory settings, if they had said to me, "Yo, Rain, do you want the dick? Do you want to be a dude? Do you want to be a woman?" I would have taken the dude every single
Every
time.
time.
You are living life on an easier mode, and people are like, "Yeah, but Rain, you're
This
pretty."
true.
Pretty doesn't last. It doesn't
Exactly.
last. Here's an example that my podcast co-host who
Mm.
we no longer are doing, they and I had the exact same surgery through the exact same insurance in the
Oh,
exact same week. They, when they showed up for their surgery, same week, same insurance company, they got a little something before the surgery so they weren't in any pain because we don't want you to be anxious going in. And
oh
then when
God.
they recovered from the surgery, they got an entire goodie bag just that would make
Drugs?
burros pleased. Here you go. We don't want you to have any discomfort.
No, God,
Few
no.
days later, when I had the same surgery, when I woke up, they gave me nothing going in, just raw dog it. You'll make it work. When I woke
Oof.
up, they're like, you're eligible for Tylenol, but we don't have any more Tylenol. So you need to stop at Target on the way home and get some Tylenol.
Just over the counter fucking
Just over the
Tylenol.
counter, but they didn't have any Tylenol. And so can you hazard a guess what was the difference between me and my podcast co-host if we had such wildly different experiences with the same surgery through the same insurance in the same week? Can you tell the difference between me and them?
I mean, I would fathom it's gender based.
Oh, you
Oh
get a
my God, how
gold
did I get that?
star. He had a penis, and we can't have the
He had a
penis
penis.
be uncomfortable. I got zero Tylenol, and I'm in freshly surgeried, sliced open in the back
Yeah.
seat while my ride was getting me a bottle of extra strength Tylenol from Target. And
Jesus.
and the difference is that are you aware of Shay? She does the rigging. She does a lot of bondage. She does self-suspension. She teaches a bunch of
Mm.
classes.
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like the self-suspension queen, and
Yes.
she teaches classes all over the place. She's got multiple books out, and I was telling her after this surgical experience, she's an educator, and she has so many books I can't keep track. She has to work full time. She's an ER nurse. Like you can't, there's no
Wow.
money. And I'm like, how are you working full time, 10, 11, 12-hour shifts at an ER?
Oh yeah.
Then you immediately run home, put some Cliff Bars in a suitcase, and travel to another state to do education over the weekend.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's sexism. It's when I had my one of my kids and I had the C-section, they sent me home with Tylenol." She's like, "They don't.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, because we men are not supposed to suffer. They're not
no.
supposed to be made uncomfortable." And I don't want to like bang the drum about sexism, but the thing is that it
That's the
oppresses
thing.
everyone, not just me. You are just as oppressed by it.
Right.
Everybody is. And one of the ways that people end up getting oppressed by it, the penis havers, is like we mentioned earlier, you don't get the compliments, you don't get seen, you don't get
Hmm.
nourished. And attention is incredibly validating. There's a reason why
Oh yeah.
solitary confinement is such a punishment. They actually, there's this famous, iconic study of orphans, and these children were
Hmm.
orphans and they were all dying. And they're
Oh,
like
geez. Okay.
just all over the place. And they're like, but we're doing everything right. We're feeding them, we're changing the diapers, the temperature is good, they're getting
Mm-hmm.
enough sleep. Why do the orphans keep dying? And they actually instituted a program where nurses would come in and for an hour a day they would hold the babies. And suddenly the babies stopped dying. The survival rate was
Huh.
like 38% or something astronomical. Like,
Oh yeah,
and
I imagine.
we need touch and attention, but
Mm-hmm.
men don't get it, and they get frustrated because they get thirsty for it, and then they get more resentful, and then they ask for it in more and more sloppy ways that end up not paying
Yes.
off, and then they get more frustrated, so then they ask for it in even more of a sloppy way, and it becomes
Just
this.
going the complete opposite way down the scale. Like, no, 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 no. Yeah, I mean, I'm a touch slut. I love physical touch. Even if we're just sitting next to each other and our legs are touching, or even just cuddling. And yes, actual cuddling, not a cuddle for 60 seconds and then boom, I'm inside you. No, like actual, like, let's just hold each other and watch a
Right.
movie. It's the most, like, and I have a lot of kinks, but it's the most rewarding to me. Just being able to have that connection, that touch, and just feel like almost safe and loved. And
Mhm.
it sounds silly, but that's
It
what goes
doesn't
through my
sound
head.
silly.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. In that moment where you're being seen and touched, you're
Mm-hmm.
being acknowledged for being a person and you're being seen. And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, at the moment when you're touching that other person and you're creating basically a life raft, and it's the two of you floating in a life
Wow.
raft
Okay.
against the chaos of the world, which is a very turbulent ocean. And in that
Yes.
moment when you're doing the touch, you don't have to worry about your electrical bill. You don't have to worry about your car needing gas. You don't need to worry about groceries. The two of you, or three, or however many people are doing that
Yeah.
whole puddle, are carving out an island of magic where you don't have to worry about the outside world, which is very
Yeah.
stressful, chaotic. It makes
It just
perfect
all
sense.
drowns out. And I'm just here
Mhm.
in this moment. I always like to think of it because I love sea otters. And I think this might be one of the reasons how they always hold hands and just float.
Right.
And being in a cuddle puddle, like you mentioned, that was one of my favorite experiences ever at a group session. My friend, who knew I was very like touchy, love physical touch, she's like, Sammie, get in the middle of this bed. I'm like, oh, well, yes, ma'am. I will, very obedient.
Aw,
Good boy. And
aw.
she put everyone on me. And there
Okay.
was at least 8 or 9 people. I had people on my legs, my chest, shoulders. She was behind me. Rain, it is an experience I could never recreate if I tried, but just that, like you're saying, that body mass of feeling safe, nothing's happening outside. I am right here in this moment. One of my pinnacle moments ever in the lifestyle or playing anything. Just, oh,
You're saying
so good.
that can't be created. Can I recommend, if you're not already using one, weighted blankets?
I do not have a weighted blanket, actually.
My friend, let
Okay.
me tell you, as someone who loves touch, weighted blankets are a game changer. So
I never
mine are
thought about that.
15 pounds,
Yeah.
and it's just, it goes right over you. And it's like a small buffalo pressing you down. And if you
Small
like
buffalo.
small, wee,
Yeah.
a very
It's a
athletic
baby.
buffalo who does a lot of cardio.
Yeah.
But if you want that sensation of that press,
Hmm.
weighted blanket is like $80, absolutely worth it. I can't
Oh,
sleep
yeah.
without them. You put it on and it just, some people go heavier. I think that when people do like two weighted blankets, it's a little bit of a, you're trying
Especially
to,
trying to get out. Like, I just got to
yeah,
pee right
I
now.
just have
Fuck,
to
come on.
pee. I can't get out of here. But I would definitely recommend for you to try a
Okay.
weighted blanket. I think that it's something that your body and brain would quite enjoy.
All right. I will absolutely look into that now. And it is my birthday's right around the corner. So just be
It's your
like, Mom,
birthday. You should
weighted
treat.
blanket.
Let me tell you, I want you to get. I'm giving you a homework assignment.
Oh,
You're going to get that for your birthday, and you're going to
okay.
try it out, and then you're going to report back to me and tell me how it went.
I
And
will
I am
absolutely do that.
very confident that you're going to be like, "Wow, Rain, thank you." It's not quite a cuddle puddle, but it is an elevation.
Yeah.
Your skin will be grateful. It'll thank you.
Okay.
That
We,
feeling of pressure, it's very cathartic
yeah.
and soothing.
Okay. Well, I got homework. Who would thought I'd get homework on a Sunday? But hey, let's go. My God. Yeah, we're both definitely, like I've listened to many of your interviews, definitely we're very susceptible to side quests, but I think people like it. It's enjoyable.
I can't. I look, man. I have ADHD.
It's the
Side quests are
tism.
going
I'm
to
like,
happen.
huh?
If you talk with me, there is no a point A to point B. There's point
Right.
C and point 3.7, and we'll get there eventually. This is my second podcast of the week. I did one on Tuesday, Tuesdays with Tori, and she tried to
Oh,
ask me one question, and the whole hour went up, and I hadn't finished answering the first question. She's like, "We're
right.
going to need to get you back for part two. I have more questions other than one." It took
I
us,
had
it
more
took
than
us
one
an,
question.
it took us over an hour, and I answered half of the first question.
It happens. Here, let me see. So this one, now, I know you have a cat, no pun intended, gorgeous little Maine Coon. But if you
I
could,
have four
you have
cats.
4.
They
Okay. I was
kept
going to say,
moving
I know
in
I've
with
seen
me.
pictures of you with more than just the black cat. I'm like, wait a minute.
Black cat's my main baby. But
Okay.
I had she and her sister, I had two, and then I pet the neighbor's cat, and he broke up with the neighbor after 10 years and followed me home and moved onto my porch. And I went to the
Wow.
neighbor and I'm like, yo, no, I hope you're not upset, but I think your cat just dumped you and moved onto my porch. And he's like, yeah, well, he didn't like the dog. I've had him for 10 years. I rescued him when he was a kitten. I guess he's yours now. And
Oh.
he was so chill about it that about a year later, I was like, hey, I've got a wedding I have to go to. I'm going to be out of town for a week. Can you come babysit your ex-cat? And I'm like, I'll pay for the food. And he's like, no, no, it's fine for old time's sake. So every day he would walk up the street with a bag of cat food and he would feed his old cat who had broken up with him for me. And then I have a fourth cat because I was in my bedroom and someone started screaming at me. And it was a
Oh.
small stray kitten on the compost bin yelling at me
He
through
meant
the
it was a
window.
person. I was like, wait, what?
No, no, it was a very, she screaming was her survival strategy. She's like,
Okay,
you're gonna
okay.
feed me. She's
Yeah.
very loud. And so now I have four.
There
Like
you
I just
go.
stand there and then the universe puts them in my life. And I'm not, if I think that one of the meanings of life is to help others. If you can help
Absolutely.
someone else suffer a little less, then your time on this planet was worthwhile, which is how
Yeah.
I'm soft touch and I keep ending up with cats because they're like, you're a god. Could you feed me? I need some vet care.
Right.
Help. And I'm like, all right, little babies. Okay, so
See?
what was your question about cats?
Oh, so this one, we're going to change it a little bit because I'd like to be creative on this. So if you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be? And as an example, I will give you mine because I love this answer. I love otters, I love polar bears, but sharks are my favorite thing in the world. And if I could have any pet, I would pick a great white shark. It would float in the air because, it's a shark. It's not going to walk. That'd be weird. It'll have a collar and it'll be very trained. So people don't have to be scared of it. And, it's a very trained, docile, floating shark. That is what my pet would be if I could have any pet.
And his skin doesn't dry out? Have you adapted his gills? Am I thinking about
Yeah.
it too much?
No, he's adapted because that's why he swims through the airs. Now the
Yeah.
air is like his water
Oh, so he's very buoyant and
and he
never
does
gets
snore.
dehydrated.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
all right. Uh, a pet that I've always wanted that I have never been able to have, but would really like is a ferret. I've had a
okay.
bunch of rats, and there's a lot of
Oh,
places
I
where
love rats as
ferrets.
pets.
So I like, I've had rats my whole life. Unfortunately, they last 2 to 3 years and they get
That's it.
the tumors. I mean, rats are just basically like 80% tumor. You get a rat, it's mostly tumor.
Yeah.
Here, look at
Once it
this
hits two
small,
years,
just tumor central. And I paid to like have the tumors removed. It's like
oh
250
wow.
bucks. And they're like, look, lady, we'll take your money, but the tumors are going to come back
They're
in a
just
different
gonna be back
spot.
next week.
Yeah, and I did it. I put my whole rat through a little surgery and they cut her open and they took out her
Oh
tumors. And less than 8 weeks later, a new tumor started growing. I was like, I can't put you through anesthesia.
no.
You don't have any more slicing in you. So yes, I love rodents. I consider rats like training wheels for a ferret, but they're
There you
illegal
go.
in multiple states. Um,
That's
yeah, there's a
right,
lot
aren't
of
they?
states where you can't actually get ferrets. So there's an underground ferret associations where it's like if you have
Mm.
a ferret, but it's illegal in that state, because I guess they're worried about them escaping and breeding or becoming a menace to the wildlife or something.
Huh.
So they're illegal in the state of California, but there are
Okay.
underground ferret vets where people that are ferret
Wow.
fans will then be like, well, I have an illegal ferret, you have an illegal ferret, and they have support groups and they will hook you up with vets you can go to that will treat the ferret even
It's
though
like,
it's illegal.
here's this number. Ask for Johnny.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll ask for
it's
Johnny.
like that. And that's why I've never had a ferret, but I would like one.
Yeah, ferrets are amazing. Our rat, we named him Ghoulie, my daughter. He was an albino with these pink eyes. Literally 2 years to the day we got him, baseball sized tumor just started growing on his neck and it was dragging. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
felt so bad. I was calling around vets and they wanted like $500 to put him down. And I know it's horrible, but I'm like, this is a $10 rat I bought. and you're telling me it's going to be 500. I'm like, he is a member of the family. I love him to death. He would sit on my shoulder while I work from home. My daughter loved him. Finally, there was this great humane society. They're like, 25 bucks, bring him in. We'll, euthanize him, just a little shot. This little bastard, love him to death, Ghoulie RIP, took the dose to put him out permanently. He sat there for like 20 minutes and he was just sleeping. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
You need some stronger stuff. What was he doing? What did he have a recreational habit he wasn't letting you know
I
about?
guess he was using behind my back. I
He
didn't know
was
he was
getting
going
out
out
at
at
night
night.
and hitting the mean streets?
Yeah, 20 minutes. The vet kept checking and she's like, okay, at this point, I'm going to give some more. I'm like,
I,
okay, I didn't know. Why were we waiting this long? Just put him, like, my daughter's waiting to go bury her rat.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, but yeah, Ferris, I do love that answer. And then let's see. So I'm trying to go through here. So there we go. All right. Now, this one I know we talked briefly about behind the scenes, of course, but you exist at this really interesting intersection of art, sexuality, and education.
Hmm.
So for you, when did those worlds first start blending for you in your journey?
Oh gosh, almost
Right.
immediately.
Right
So
away.
the thing that I have seen is that it is very easy to discount porn performers. And people
Absolutely.
think that we're stupid or think that we have crack habits or gambling habits or daddy issues. And the amount of creativity in the industry for me, for people that are adult workers,
Yeah.
adult performers, they are metal workers, leather workers, costume designers, poets, singers, artists, writers, costumers. We are a creative bunch of people.
Absolutely.
And the amount of creativity that people that I see in the industry, where it's every person I seem to work with, they're like, I've got an Etsy store, like I hand
Yeah.
make, chain mail, I do leather work, I'm a singer, you know, uh, so for me, I am very art. I don't want to like say that like I'm super artistic, but making things is why I get up in the morning.
There you go.
I
I like that.
need I need to make something 7 days a week.
You need to create.
If I'm not creating, my skin doesn't sit on me properly. And when
Uh-oh.
people tell me that they think that I'm prolific, I'm like, it's a compulsion. I can't
Yeah.
help it. If I haven't made something 7 days a week, if I'm not constantly in the process of making something, I can't breathe. I have to be making. Making
Hmm.
is how I make the world make sense. And
There you
what
go.
and what it is that I'm making can vary wildly. If I'm doing painting, if I'm putting together costumes, if I'm doing writing, if I'm doing photography, if I'm putting together a class, all of it is the act of creation. And I
Okay.
tend to hang out with creative people, and
Like-minded folks.
it's a compulsion. We
Hmm.
do it because it's the only way that we can navigate through this world. And for me, I have a very high libido. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality.
Very.
And I, as an artist, it would be foolish for me not to use a tool or a resource I have. I
Of
didn't
course.
ask to be born in the body that I was in, but my parents are both tall and lean. So I came onto the planet what society would consider like height, weight, proportionate.
Okay.
And I also inherited from my grandmother these massive titties. Like they're just
That
huge.
was going to be my next question. Who did the tits come from?
My grandmother. So they
Okay.
skipped my mother and my sister, but I went
But
from a
Rain was blessed.
with the stretch marks. I went from a size A to a size C in a month and a half. My tits got so
Wow.
big I had to drop out of track team. Like, and I'm covered
Oh.
with stretch marks. Like I was not like it was. I did not break 3 digits till I was 19. And I remember stepping on the scale and finally being like 101. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a real girl now.
I'm a real boy.
Imagine being under 100 pounds with a size C chest. Like I looked
Wow.
like a walking game of tetherball. And they got so big and so heavy so quickly
Yeah.
that I couldn't run anymore. Like, I would have to hold my chest. It made it a lot harder to be as physically active as I would like.
Yeah.
It was some illogically big breasts. And
Illogically big.
and I asked my mother, and because my mother's not even an A cup, and my sister's not even an A cup, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, you got them from your grandmother." And
Oh,
and I went and looked at my grandma, and it was like, okay, I did
okay.
indeed. You're right.
Checks out.
Yeah. We totally side quest. What was the question?
Oh, yeah.
Can we
I
get
thought that
back? I
covered it.
went to answer it, and then I feel like I went in an ADHD
Oh,
spiral
no.
about
Yeah,
a
that was
booby.
it. When did those worlds first start blending
Oh,
for
when
you?
did
So
they?
almost
Okay,
like
thank
right
you. Yeah,
away.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Very, very. So it would be foolish of me not to take advantage of a tool I have at my disposal,
Yes.
which is that society is saying we think that your flesh is put together in a somewhat pleasing way. All right. I mean, if that's going to give me more opportunities, why wouldn't I? Uh,
True.
but I'm also, it's like, to look like this it's a lot of work. I am a vegan. I work out 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink coffee. I've never had meat in my life. I don't smoke cigarettes. Like, I basically live on carrots and hummus. I don't drink
Not
soda. I
bad.
don't eat fast food. So people can find me a bit of a buzzkill because it's like, is there any cheesecake for you? No, it's more carrots and cardio. And
Carrots and cardio.
so it's not like I don't do work to look like this.
Right.
Um, but, at the same time, because I'm so comfortable with my sexuality, I can't unhook the art from the sexuality. And I know
It's
people
always just connected.
it's irrevocably. I
Yes.
can't. I've tried to untangle them. I have, and I have friends who started out as models, and they're like, "I'm going to be taken seriously," and they put the sexy time stuff away. I
Mm.
wouldn't know how to do that, and I would have no desire to do it.
You can't
I,
decompartmentalize that and
I,
just put it in a
my,
box.
my art will always be sexual. It will be sensually
Yes.
based in some way. I don't know how to not do it that way. And in terms of education, I'd mentioned earlier, I believe it was off camera when we were doing a little catch up before this
Yeah.
podcast started. One of my deep core beliefs is that one of the meanings of life is to help others
Yes.
and and to learn. And I believe I think of knowledge as arrows that you can put in your quiver. And the
Mm,
more
okay.
arrows you have in your quiver, the easier this whole life journey is. The
Yeah.
more knowledge you have, the more skill set you have, the more prepared, the better armed you are. So I'm always wanting to learn. And when I learn something, I don't want to I don't want to hold the knowledge to myself. If I learn
Yeah.
something, I then want to share it.
Absolutely.
And that is how I got into education was my classes are all, these are the mistakes I've made. I don't want
Right.
you to, so I don't get up
Let
on
me
stage and
spare you from what I
yeah,
learned.
I want to share with you the mistakes I've made. I don't have a lot of ego, and some people are terrified. I think it's because I'm neurodivergent. I don't ego is just not something that's a factor for me. My world
No.
doesn't end if I'm wrong and or if I've made a mistake.
Right.
Like and some people would rather throw themselves off a cliff than admit that they've made a mistake or
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
And
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
I have no ego with that. So if I've made a mistake, I will share it with you in the hopes that
Yeah.
you don't have to then go through the same mistake. And that's the core of my education. So I had been modeling for 1 year and I started teaching strap-on play classes.
All
Strap-on
right.
is
Okay.
is like one of my core fetishes. It's one of like my
Yes.
deep personal like, core pillars of my sexuality is strap-on play. And I started and butt stuff's a little trickier. It's
Oh,
got some more
absolutely.
complexity to it. So I started teaching a strap-on play class, and then from there, it just every time I got good enough and picked up enough knowledge, I don't do needle play classes. I don't do electrical play classes.
Hmm.
I know the stuff where I mean, I don't do, I can dabble like a little bit in humiliation, but humiliation's not really my jam.
It's not
So
really for you.
no, so like I'm not going to do a humiliation class. I'm not going
No.
to do a needle play class. I'm not going to do electrical play class. I'm going to do the stuff that speaks to my interests and that I'm into. And that is how pretty quickly from the modeling, within a year of modeling, I was then doing the education. Uh,
Oh, all right.
but I was already very comfortable on stage because I was born in San Francisco, and before I became a
Hmm.
professional naked person, I spent multiple years in the San Francisco spoken word scene.
I could
Unfortunately,
see that.
writing
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
pay diddly squat. I could get a story published
No.
in like $25. I'll
Woo!
get a couple gallons of gas with that. Or I
Right.
could go work for Kink and I get $1,000 for one day. It's not really, it's not. So I already had a lot of experience and
Hmm.
comfort with getting on stage in front of a room full of strangers and sharing what was in my head. Uh, and when I started doing it in terms of education, I've read stories on stage, and nobody has come up after and given me a hug and whispered in my ear
Oh,
that I saved their marriage. And when I do
wow.
classes, people I have never met are like, I got engaged because of you. I took your oral sex class, and since you last saw me, I'm now engaged. Thanks for the
Right.
kid. I've had people that have given me a hug and said, "You saved my marriage." And if I'm helping someone communicate better and be more comfortable in their skin and feel more comfortable with their sexuality, I think that's a really valid and useful use of my time.
Oh, for
Every
sure.
every day on this planet, we wake up with less time. This is the oldest you've ever been.
Hmm.
Now you're older now. Now you have less time.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the time you have?
Right.
And for me personally, I didn't want to look back on a life of I sat on the couch and picked my toenails and ate fast food and watched
Oof.
bad reality TV. But some people do that, and
Yeah.
I'm not
We don't
judging.
yuck yums.
We have a right to live our lives however works best for us. And for
Exactly.
me personally, helping other people and creating and learning to be more comfortable in my skin and doing and accomplishing is where I feel the most relaxed.
Mm.
And so I'm the most relaxed when I'm doing something. And
Yeah.
I'm least relaxed when I'm on a couch, just like, is this a TV
Like,
show or
like
is
I
it
got to
nothing
do
to do?
something. I got to create.
I got yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's not for everyone. It's like, do you want to hang
No.
out with me? We're gonna do a bunch of cardio, we're gonna eat a ton of carrots, and we're gonna be working compulsively. People are like,
Fair.
oh, Rain, that's a hey, it's not for you, but I am honest and
True.
and I want to respect my time and your time.
Yeah.
So when we're honest about our needs and our desires, that is
Mm.
how we are respecting other people's time. Because I have no some people have like rejection sensitivity dysphoria, like rejection is crippling to them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be rejected. I've been rejected so many times I've lost count. Before I shuffle off this mortal coil, I will be rejected again. It's literally
Hmm.
part of life. And the sooner you make your peace with the fact that you're going to be rejected, the better off the rest of your life journey is going to be for a fact.
Yes.
And if I'm my honest, and I'm always working on my shit, I'm trying to be the best version of myself I can be. But the
Hmm.
way I view it is that if I am my honest self and someone tastes the temperature and tastes my tea and is like, I don't like the flavor and I don't like the
Yeah.
temperature, that's all they are doing. That's
That's it.
their needs and desires. And they are exiting my life, which creates space in my life for someone who would
Who
want to be
does
with me.
appreciate
And
that taste?
yes, exactly.
I know. I love that. I actually like, it's going to be hard to believe. I'm actually crippling shy in person. I never walked up to someone in my 46, well, 46 this month years of life and asked them like, "Hey, can I get your number?" Or, "Hey, do you want to go out for dinner?" Until this year, it started dawning on me. It's like the lesson I learned, and I can't remember where it came from, but it's like you're gonna meet this person. And what does it matter if what they think of you? Put yourself out there. If you make an ass out of yourself, like karaoke or whatever, oh wow, you're never going to see these people again. But
Pick
if
yourself
you,
up.
yeah, and if you don't take that chance, then what are you missing? So I took
Exactly.
it twice at the gym this year. I did it very respectfully because the gym is such a sensitive place,
It,
especially with how I present. You know, we were talking about, I can absolutely come off like, ugh, here comes this fucking bro. And I was very polite. I was like, hey, don't want to be that atypical guy. I couldn't help but take a shot and see if you want to grab a donut sometime and maybe talk and hang out. That's it. And both times were very polite no. So it's that rejection that you were just speaking of that would stop me from doing that because I was
Mhm.
petrified of in my brain, their rejection was going to be like, oh my, ew, get a what the fuck, go away. That's what my mind would tell me. And in real life, very pleasant rejections both times, no issues.
Your mind lies to you. It is
Oh,
a
fuck yeah.
traitorous stack of cells. It lies to you.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and you have to actively work on mastering your mind because your mind is
Yes.
a liar.
Work in progress.
Yeah, and you'll be doing it to the day you die. All of
Yep.
us, we are always a work in progress. But rejection, I have approached people. Hey, I've shot my shot, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you. Oh no, thank you. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep moving in a forward direction.
Right.
The, being rejected is not the end of the world. And
God, no.
and where I think one of the things I'm grateful that I don't like have a lot of ego is that I don't take it personally. I think you're cool and you're like,
No.
okay, well, I'm not feeling it. And it's okay.
Okay.
I don't have any, uh, what you're then doing is saying that there is someone else out there that would be more compatible with me, where our
Yeah.
puzzle pieces would meet. And as an advice columnist, one of the things that people approach me, men approach me all of the time is, but all of these dates are unsuccessful. I
Mm-hmm.
keep going on dates and they're all failures. They don't work. It's so disheartening. And
True.
what I counter is this. There are 8 billion people on the planet. And if you
That's
look
all.
at us, we're all puzzle pieces. And we're all walking around with our puzzle pieces, and we're looking for someone else whose puzzle pieces are compatible with ours.
Just right.
How many people do you meet in an average day? Just a rough guesstimate. Do you
Oh,
personally?
I couldn't even keep count, thinking like walking around the store,
Right,
bumping in,
right.
daily interactions, like couldn't count.
Let's just say it's at 50, 60.
Yeah, I like 50.
Okay. And how many of those 50 or 60 people register with you at all? Most of the time they're incompatible. Not through you, but through them. But if you were to sit down and talk to any of them, our food tastes aren't the same, our politics aren't the same, our lifestyle beliefs aren't the same, how we
Yeah.
approach our health isn't the same. All day long, we are interacting with people and our puzzle pieces don't click. We can be civil, we can slide by that other person, but
Yeah.
do you know how rare it is? And take gender out of the equation, take sexuality out of the equation. When you
Mm-hmm.
meet someone and you're like, oh my God, you're so cool. I like everything about you. I like
Yeah.
your vibe. I like your flavor. How rare is that? Most of
Super.
the time, that doesn't happen. 99% of first dates are going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
99% of them. The odds that you're going to do on that first date, and it's like, you're my soulmate. Oh my goodness. The cartoon birds are chirping in the trees.
Right.
Like my
Wedding
heart is,
bells.
yeah, that's so fucking rare. And but we're fed this nonsense. We're fed this lie that like you're gonna meet your soulmate and your eyes are gonna lock and time is gonna stop and we're
Right.
gonna know and I don't have to say anything and you don't have to say anything. We're simplicado. We're connected.
We've
And we
clicked. This is forever.
we're two essences in one. That's a lie. It's a
Yeah.
myth. That isn't how life works. And if that's the bar that we're hitting, how many first dates? And I'm like, there will never be a second date. We weren't
Mm-mm.
compatible. Or when I'm like, you're cool, and they're like, thanks, Rain. I'm totally good. You have a great day. I say goodbye.
Eh,
You you
toodaloo.
it's so rare to find someone whose puzzle piece connects with you to begin with, that
Yeah.
we treasure it when it happens, but it doesn't happen as much as Hollywood and the movies and songs tell us. They make it
No,
sound like you're just tripping over people you're compatible with all the time.
you're just missing them. That's all. Yeah.
It's not, that's
No,
not how it works. And with the
that,
sooner you can come to peace with that, the sooner that you can accept that, the better off you are.
yeah.
And I've been rejected so many times, I cannot even keep track. I approach people and they're like, that's too much for me. And I
Hmm.
either through friends, I think you're cool and I would like to be your friend. And they're like, no, I'd like to have sex with you. No, thank you. I'd like to
I'm
play.
good.
No, 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 I'm good. And I get told all the time online that I couldn't possibly understand what rejection is like. I must never,
Really?
I must never get rejected. Like,
Wow.
and people say that with their full chest, with utter confidence.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to experience rejection, that somehow I'm in some rarefied air and rejection doesn't happen to people like me. It most
Hmm.
certainly does. It's part of being human. Who the fuck cares? Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Like, it's gonna, when you, the more comfortable and confident you are in your skin, the more that you're gonna attract other people that want to hang out with you and interact with you.
Exactly. Like
And
finds like.
when you have a constant monologue in your head of I'm a loser, I suck, I'm unlikable, no one wants to be around me, no one would ever want to have sex with me, no one would ever want to be in a relationship with me,
Hmm.
I'm just a big fucking loser. You're radiating that out of you like a gas,
Oh yeah, you can
and
read it.
people can sense it, and they're like, well, well, it's so easy for you to say, Rain. How do how do you get out of that spiral? You can't help it. You can.
Yeah.
Therapy is the answer. When
Hmm.
you working on your shit is the answer. When your first initial step is I can't, there's nowhere to go from there. There's no second step.
No.
If your initial building base block, this is hard, this is difficult, it's going to suck, I'm not looking forward to it, I'd rather not, those are all valid. But if you
Hmm.
start out with, I can't, there's nowhere to go from there. You've shut it down.
True.
And
Yeah.
what I see is that people have decided in their head, I'm a loser, I suck, no one want to be in a relationship with me anyway. And then you walk, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? And you probably
Oh
don't.
yeah.
And people are like,
If you
whoa,
want to, I mean, no big deal if you don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And people pick up on that. And it's like, how do you can become more confident. You can
Yes.
work on yourself. And I'm not saying it's easy. Of course it's not. It's fucking hard, but it
Right.
isn't impossible. And there's a difference between hard and impossible.
Exactly. And see that feeling, that connection that sparked that moment. I can honestly say in the past 18 years, I've had that three times. One was my
Exactly.
wife, and two were these incredible human beings that I was so lucky to meet at that time in my life. And we had an amazing time together until it was over. But oh, those people, they were like soulmates, almost just it's hard to explain, but it was just in that moment. We were right for each other, the time, and I wouldn't trade that time for
Mhm.
anything in the world. Even
Mhm.
though it was short lived, it was phenomenal. The connection, the vibes, just like it was like my person.
That's another myth that I spend a lot of time and energy in breaking down, is not only are we given the myth that your soulmate's out there, but
Hmm.
there's also this fairly common expectation that if something is shorter, it's somehow not as valid, or if it ended, that meant that it didn't work out.
It
And
wasn't
I
meant to be.
and I counter that one of the reasons that life is hard is that we humans are social. We're social
Yes.
beings, but we're also at the same time very isolated, even with 8 billion of us on the planet. You
Hmm.
are You are born alone and you die alone.
True.
You're born in diapers, you die in diapers.
That
Everyone's
too.
story begins exactly the same way, and everyone's story ends exactly the same way. And
Hmm.
it's what you do in the middle that's the bit that's different. And I have walked with people, and it's like my journey for you, that expectation of we're going to meet up and then we're going to be together until the day we die. We're now
Yep.
locked together for 45 years, you and me, like this. That's a very high expectation, and it's almost impossible to meet.
Oh
And
yeah.
the way I look at it is if my journey with you was a month, was 6 months, was a year, was 6 years, and then we're not walking together anymore. That doesn't
Hmm.
mean the time that we walked side by side wasn't super valid and nourishing when it was
Oh
happening.
God, no.
And we're all changing. I'm wildly different than I was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
15 years ago. I'll be different again in another five. And the odds that as you are constantly in flux and changing as a human being, who you
Hmm.
are now, absolutely different than you were 10 years ago.
Oh,
For a fact.
absolutely.
And it's not just you that's constantly changing and evolving, everyone around you is as well.
Yeah.
Same time. So you can't we were good 4 years ago. That time hath passed. I'm not the same person, you're not the same person, but the time that we did spend together was magical, and I will cherish it forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, and it's so funny because for me, I recently am divorced, but I have a Jack and Sally tattoo on my calf for me and my wife. It was our anniversary date was on the tombstone, like Jack and Sally above. I've
Mhm.
had so many people ask, like, hey, or hitting the thing here, but you can see, like, I even have the tattoo ring on my finger.
Mhm.
Everyone asks, like, hey, aren't you going to get that covered up or do something? Like, why? We had 16 amazing years together. Why would I say,
Right.
hey, fuck you, now that we're not together? I don't want to be reminded of this.
Right.
I'm
Well,
like,
you have a
no.
kid. It's kind of hard to not be
Right.
reminded. Here's
It's
hey,
like, hey,
physical
ship the
representation.
kid off somewhere. Yeah, gotta get rid of that memory. No.
Right,
I've
right,
never understood that when people like frown or, like you said, it wasn't forever, so now it's not good. It was a
right,
hell of a good 16 years. I mean,
right,
Jesus.
right,
And now we're great friends now. I mean, obviously raising the kiddo and everything. And yeah, I never would have done anything like that.
right.
There's this new wave of creators blending artist, education, and performer. Where do you see that space heading in the future? And what's your personal take in that arena?
Okay. So that is an intense question, and
Hmm.
I'm going to unpack it and answer it to the best of my ability.
There you go. That's all we can
Um,
ask.
so the thing is that I have watched the industry change wildly, dramatically, drastically. And
Yes.
I have watched studio after studio die, crumble, a shell of itself.
Hmm.
And the core of it, and this is one of my pet peeves, and people hate hearing me rabbit on about it, but it's also the truth. And I'm sorry if the truth makes you uncomfortable. The reason that
Love that.
industry is where these creators, these independent people, because the studios are dying, it's all piracy. And what it is there were a bunch of people. I want to look at you naked and fucking. I really want that. I
Oh,
want that
thank
a
you.
lot. However, I'm not willing to pay you for it because fuck you, you dumb, stupid, fucking porn whore. Get a real job. Oh, I
Hmm.
definitely want to watch your footage. I'm not a loser. I would never pay for it.
Oh,
I will
ick.
steal it. I will steal it because that makes me not a loser. I will watch all of your stuff. I will message you. I will tell you how I'm your biggest fan. Really?
I'll make
What's your
requests.
subscriber name? Oh, no, I don't subscribe to anything. I'm just your biggest fan. No, you're not.
Oh,
You're
Jesus.
you're you're a you're a thief is what you are. But it's not a big deal. Everyone does it.
My
I
God.
have never pirated a single movie or song in my life. I don't listen to Spotify. I first bought things, records were before my time. When I was a small baby tadpole, I had some tape decks, and then
Hell
CDs
yeah.
came along, and I went and rebought the same song, paid for it a second time for CDs, and then CDs were nothing, and then it was streaming, and I paid for it a third time, and then the streaming services would stop supporting it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, that album doesn't exist anymore. We're not carrying it. Well, you don't actually get to have the physical media. I'm a huge believer in physical media.
I
But
love physical
it
media.
but it is not hard to be ethical. It is not
No.
hard to not steal. It's not. I
Yeah.
have never done it. If I haven't stolen a single piece, I've never pirated anything. People are like, what's your Spotify playlist? I don't listen to Spotify
Right.
because that fucks the artists over. Oh, yeah, but it's convenient to have. No, I sleep better at night with my ethics and my morals. And
Hmm.
and people will message me, Rain, I miss how it used to be. Why aren't the shoots like that anymore? Because I'm not saying you stole, but everyone around you in
Right.
the circle stole. And people don't think of adult performers as real, living, breathing human beings.
Nope. It's
We
just a
have
character.
to,
That's all.
we're entertaining electrons on a screen. And it's
Yes.
like, I have to pay my rent. I have
Right.
to buy food.
I
I
like
have
to
to
eat.
buy, I have to buy toothpaste. I need medical care. Like that doesn't just come out of the ether and land in my lap. I'm doing something I love, but I'm also getting paid to do what I love.
Right.
And as all of the studios died, they got pirated to death. They did. I watched them all collapse. And
Hmm.
as a result, the shift was that now, and people love to slam OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
OnlyFans exists because you all kept stealing. Had you not pirated fucking everything, there would be no OnlyFans.
Right.
You made OnlyFans happen. These dumb bitches think they can sit at home and masturbate. I loved working for studios.
Yeah.
The studios can't sustain anymore. They can't do it.
No.
Piracy. And people are indignant that they would have to pay for something that they really, 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 really like. People
Hmm.
love porn, but they don't want to pay for it. And it's
Nope.
like, I'm not a Mother Teresa of sex workers. Like as much as I love fucking and
Right.
happily fuck for free, I also like showering. I like having a roof over my head. I like
Hmm.
eating. I've got to get gas in the car. That stuff has to come from somewhere. If you're
Yeah.
not willing to pay me, then I can't keep doing the thing you really like. So what happened as the studios died, here the workaround that we now have is tits are free. You can get tits anywhere. There is no shortage of tits.
No
You
shortage.
could spend the rest of your life looking at tits. So how platforms like Fansly or Loyal Fans or OnlyFans works
Hmm.
is that, and this is where it gets fucking tricky, is it becomes a parasocial relationship. And what it is
Oh.
that you need someone who is emotionally committed enough to you, SammieSwitch. They could
Yes.
see dick everywhere, but
That's
they
true.
need to be into you in specific and your specific cock enough to feel that they have this like connection and they need more of it, that they're
Right.
willing to go to a subscription site and pay to have access to your content.
Yeah.
And that's the only way it works is that you need to have enough of an emotional investment in a specific performer, no matter the gender, to specifically seek them out and say, I'm willing to pay for your content, even though I wouldn't have to pay for content because boobs and genitals are
Yeah.
flapping everywhere. But the problem is that when you have someone who is emotionally invested enough in you specifically, Sammie, as a person, they're like, I am into
Hmm.
specifically you, enough that I'm going to open up my wallet to access you.
Right.
Then it can get very easily slide into parasocial relationships where
Okay.
people are like, but we're friends. Like, I can tell that we're going to date. Like, I have people who I've never even met who think that I'm going to get married to them.
Of
And,
course.
and it becomes, where is that dividing line of the parasocial relationship is strong enough that they are invested enough in you specifically to pay for your subscription, but they're also not going to show up at your front door, which has happened. I've had friends who have had to move. Like, well, my one
Ooh.
friend, her 9-year-old son opened up the door, and it was a fan who was like, I tracked you down, and
Oh God.
this,
No. No.
that,
No.
you're my
No.
favorite performer. And And my friend's like, okay, I have to uproot my entire life and move because you're not able to stay on the right line of that parasocial boundary.
Yeah.
Are people going to keep doing it? Yes, because there are always going to be exhibitionists and there are always going to be people working with sexuality. Is
Hmm.
the market super flooded? Is it are people having to work harder and harder for less? Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost every single person who is on OnlyFans has a day job, has multiple day jobs. The odds that you
Right.
can get by just being a full-time sexy time person is
Yeah.
incredibly just like you're saying, you do this podcast and you're not bringing home millions in advertising revenue, but
Yeah. Okay.
you're doing it because you want to and because it's
Yeah.
something you're passionate about, but you have to
Exactly.
supplement with other things in order to keep doing this particular project. That's how it is for a lot of performers, is that
Hmm.
sex work isn't the only thing they do. I'm part of
No.
multiple discussion groups and people that are dedicated, like in person full service sex workers, and they still have day jobs. It's just not
Yeah.
enough. You can't. People are like, oh, well, it must be so nice to be able to sell your body for money and you must be so fucking wealthy. No, babes. No,
None of bits.
that's not how any of this works. But you don't hear about that because that's where 98% of people are. And
Yeah.
people only want to hear about the 2%. Oh, they went on OnlyFans and they started an OnlyFans, and within one day, Bad Barbie made 1.2 million. That's a great headline. That's also
Right.
incredibly, incredibly statistically so rare as to
It's
practically
like
be
winning the
impossible.
lotto.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't hear about all the people who didn't win the lotto. You hear about the
Yeah.
winner. And so that's what we think of as the benchmark, and it's not.
I know.
I am, as I'm watching people seem to have less money, as I work harder and harder for less and less returns, uh, I think that my body can still keep going. Like if people are like, "Oh, I've been a huge fan of you for over 20 years." You haven't, sweetie. I haven't been doing this for 20 years. It's
You're
not.
like, wait a minute.
I know I went in for my birthday. It was a birthday gift. I wrote myself a letter on my birthday, and I'm like, I'm going to
Oh.
explore the lifestyle. I've always known that I was kinky. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
everyone like given age, but there's a certain from birth, really, I knew. And I reached a point where I was tired of not being honest about who I was. And as a
Yeah.
birthday gift, I was like, I'm not getting any younger. Like, this is something that I want to do. I'm not willing to put it off any longer.
No.
I got into the lifestyle, and within 3 weeks, I was in the lifestyle for roughly 3 weeks, and I sent an
Hmm.
application to Kink. And and
Mm.
I was playing at a dungeon, and someone was like, Rain,
Oh.
you should put in an application to Kink, because it was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm too old and not like really attractive enough and pretty tattooed. Uh, I'm not really sure I'm what Kink's looking for.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, why don't I put in an application? Because what's the worst that they can happen? They say no.
Right.
It's fine.
Exactly.
And,
Like we're
who
just
cares?
talking about.
And so I did, and they got back to me and started booking me, and it's been 18 years now.
See?
But it hasn't been 20, and people are, I've been a fan of you. Look, man, unless you're a time traveler of some sort, like give me
Right.
time. I'm not going anywhere. But humans like to, the dick was this big. The fish was this big.
The
I've been a
thickness.
fan of you for 20 years. I haven't been modeling for 20 years. It is
Yeah, it's like, where
actually
were you
physically,
following me then?
it is physically impossible. I know it seems like I've been here a long time. Give me time. I will keep
Yeah.
going. I'm not planning on going anywhere, but where will there be a point where I'm just gonna, people don't really have as much disposable income. I don't feel as much. Um, we are in some very not boring times. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
I'm extremely not bored. My
No.
ongoing theory is that this isn't the timeline that you and I were born into. The timeline I was
Mm.
born into, for one, they spelled the fucking Bernstein Bears properly. They did. I
Well,
know
that's
the
a bold
time.
statement.
I read everyone. I had all of them. I would pick up the cover. I would look at it. I knew how it was spelled.
You're like,
The
wait a
timeline
minute.
I was born into, not only was Bernstein Bears spelled properly, but there's no way a reality show president who is this corrupt and it's like the news is so ludicrous. I'm like, are we all just huff and glue? We're
Right.
all just like everyone has put the airplane glue in the sock. I don't know quite how it works. I've never huffed glue. I don't
Yeah.
need to huff glue. I live in this timeline. It's like huff and glue. So okay,
Like, who
take
went
me to the
back in
top
time
of
and stepped
the
on the butterfly?
what the
Like,
fuck
what
is
the fuck happened?
happening? It is some weird times. And I was telling this theory to a friend, and they're like, oh yeah, for sure. And also Nelson Mandela died in prison. And I'm like, I don't know what timeline you're from.
You're
Oh,
like,
there's
wait a
a
minute.
whole so you've heard of the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
All right, so the Mandela effect is because there is a statistically quite large percentage of people who will swear to you that Nelson Mandela died in prison. And I'm like,
Oh,
swear.
then.
That so
Okay.
that is where the terminology, the Mandela effect came from, is that people, it's like 30 something, 32% of people think that Nelson Mandela actually did die in prison. And I'm like,
Wow.
well,
I didn't
that's
know it's
not
that
my
high.
timeline. In
Yeah.
my timeline, he managed to make it out and he became the president.
Right.
So then I'm like, is it multiple timelines that have gotten, it has the Bernstein Bears timeline where it was spelled properly and the one where Nelson Mandela allegedly died in prison, that did those time streams cross? And we're in a third
Right.
completely fucking wacky time stream. I don't know about you, but like I saw footage and it was the president's son, Don Jr., who
Hmm.
so obviously has a cocaine habit. Like so clear. And he puts
Right.
his hand in his pocket. The cameras are on him. They're looking at him. He puts his finger in his pocket. He brings it out and he rubs it on his gums.
Oh, gee.
What are
So
you,
not
my, so
subtle at all. Just,
the bag of cocaine was in his pocket and he's in a public place, but it's wearing out and he needs a re-up and
yeah.
he can't snort it. So he's doing the old finger dip and the rub. I don't know enough about
Wow.
cocaine. Like, I don't know how putting it on your gums would work, but I guess that's what people do. And he's doing it in front and he said, what are you going to do? Like, yeah, I've got a bag of white powders in my pocket
Yeah.
and I'm rubbing it on my guns while you film me. It doesn't matter. I'm like, this is not the timeline I was born into. Things are
No.
weird. When you look at the climate change, where it's like, oh yeah, we're totally fucked. We should not be doing what we're doing. Are we gonna
No.
stop?
Nope.
No, we're not gonna stop. Hey, the fires and the flooding and the drought, like maybe we
That's
should.
normal.
No, we're not gonna. No, it's we we live in weird times,
We
and
absolutely do.
I feel like I have George Carlin like has a bit. He's like, I've just given up. Like it's just we're in the front row seat. Like if you're particularly if you're an American, it's like you're in the front row seat to the chaos. He's like, just
Yeah.
buckle up, babies. Like it's only going to get weirder.
Yep.
If you were to tell, like, we have a fully established, for a fact, pedophile international sex slave ring. Oh, but like, as if there could be no the president is part of
Yeah.
the pedophile sex slave ring, allegedly.
Whoever would have thought that'd be a fucking headline?
And they're just like, oh, what are you gonna do? Okay, his cokehead son is rubbing his numb gums, and he keeps banging underage sex traffic slaves. But like, I was like, okay, so we
Yeah.
are in strange times. And the way that I look at it is that I try to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And when
Mm.
people tell me how discouraged they are, I want to counter. Have you ever died of dysentery? Have you ever died of
Mm.
leprosy? Have you ever died of tuberculosis, weakly coughing up flecks of blood as your
Yeah.
lungs fill with fluid? There's no point in human history where we have been more comfortable, more well taken care of. We have antibiotics. I should be dead from pneumonia. I
Right.
shouldn't be talking to you. It used to be that when you had kids, roughly 50% of them would die,
Yeah.
50, sometimes even 80. One of my favorite examples, I did a deep dive into the Bronte family. And
Mm.
I've read all of them now, but
Yeah.
one of the great traumas of the Bronte family is that everyone kept dying. One after the other, you have the cumulative of stress, dying, dying, dying. They just kept dying, and they would try to write through their dying. And do you know what it was?
Hmm.
Their great trauma that completely fucked them all up?
What?
The town they were in, the graveyard was at the top of the hill. So they
Oh,
would,
okay.
every time someone would die, they would go put the body in the graveyard at the top of the hill. The body
Yeah.
would liquefy, it would get into the water sources. And then the
Oh.
liquefying bodies of the graveyard would go down into the water table, and then
Yeah.
a healthy person would drink it, and they would end up getting sick and dying. And then they would be buried at the
Wow.
top of the. We literally didn't know less than 200 years ago that you can't have graveyards at the top of the hill and the water source down below. We didn't know.
Jesus.
You
Okay.
could, have you ever looked into dysentery? You die shitting your brains out. You die of dehydration in a pool of your own filth. No one listening to this podcast has died of dysentery. You had
No.
leprosy, chunks, your just arm would just rot right off.
Yeah.
And the perspective shift that I want is we have the internet, we have electricity. You probably haven't gone to bed hungry. It's never been an
No.
easier time to explore who you are as a person. Imagine being you 300 years ago. What the fuck would you have done?
At 46, I'd be long gone. 20 years
Well, I
ago, at
mean, but
least.
even past that, but your sexual wiring, your who you are as a person.
Mm.
I'm not even talking about the physical part, but you,
Yeah.
Switch, who you get in the year of our Lord 2026 that you get to explore. 300 years ago, you would have never been able to do any of that. You wouldn't have been able to
No.
talk about it. You would have been isolated. You would have thought you were a weirdo. You would have suppressed it. They would have used the church to terrify you. You're going to be excommunicated. You're going to burn in hell. And your entire life would have been an agony of wearing a false mask that society demanded. And behind those false masks, everyone was suffering and struggling.
Hmm.
And when people tell me, oh man, it's so hard, the economy and the climate change, and I'm like, yeah, but
But
we have no power over a fact, but we have
hmm.
immense power over how we choose to approach that fact. And how you choose to approach that fact counts for everything. So you can be frustrated or resentful in a situation, or you can choose to learn from it and do something different. But and
True.
I can't, and the power of shifting your narrative is a tool that I use a lot. And it's like when I get discouraged, I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. Internet, electricity, antibiotics, uh, uh, cream cheese, grilled cheese sandwiches, fucking
Mm.
wonderful. Like, you get to pet the cats. I
Yeah.
something I like, I can order it online and it comes to my house. So I open up the door and there it is.
Yeah.
Living like gods. We're living like,
Right.
and people forget that. We want
Yeah.
to catch. Oh, it's so hard. You live like a god. I had
Hmm.
a friend who I'd never done a cruise, and they said, I'm going to do
Oh.
uh, the, I'm not working. And it's like, you want me to hang out in a boat with a bunch of sunburned people in shorts drinking too much.
Yeah.
Uh, not kind of, and being coughed on, kind of not my jam, but I am
No.
grateful that I did it because we went down to South America and one of the great
Oh.
packages was, hey, do you want to check out the pyramid of the Aztec king? And I was like, I
W-
fucking do. Let's go. And
Let's excursion this motherfucker.
it's one of the few ones where it's still stable enough that you can walk all the way up to the top. And so we
Oh,
walked
okay.
up to the top, and the guide took us into the king's bedroom. She's like, this is where the
Oh.
king was. And the king's bedroom is smaller than the size of my closet. There's no shelving, and the bed is just stone. And I'm looking
Yeah.
at it, and it's not that big. She's like, well, he had a mattress, and they would like stuff it. And I'm
Oh.
like, but what? And she said, nobody had any possessions. Nobody had anything.
Oh.
There was,
Okay.
the bedrooms were small because no one had clothing. No one had
Yeah.
that. You are living better than an Aztec king. And I'm standing in
Wow.
history. I'm standing in the bedroom of an Aztec king. He was the most wealthy, privileged person in the entire area. He got
Hmm.
to live in a fucking pyramid. And his bedroom was the size of your closet, and his bed was a
Yeah.
slab of stones. And he had no possessions, but it's like, okay, my feathered headdress is nicer. You don't get a feathered headdress. You don't get antibiotics, my dude.
Right.
Like, there was no bathroom. You wake up in the middle of the night and you shuffle in your comfortable slippers without your feet hitting the floor. You flip on a little nightlight, you go
Yeah.
pee, stagger back in your comfortable bed, living better than an Aztec king. And that's the
Wow.
perspective shift that I think people miss.
Yeah. And people still want to complain like, oh, I had to wait an entire day for this package. It's like, dude, we used to have to wait like 2 weeks and no tracking. Like you ordered something online back in the day. Yeah, 2 weeks and you're lucky. Now people, I hear it all the time from friends like, oh, I had to wait an entire day for
A
my
whole
Amazon. I'm like,
day. Oh
dude,
no.
come
How you
on.
suffer. Never
Yeah,
has anyone suffered as much as you.
right. Oh, I love that. Well, Rain, I tell you what, I think I'm gonna have to have you come back because I know I
We
had
didn't
other
get through all the
questions.
questions, did we? I
No,
told
and
you.
that's okay because see, it gets to that point where I look at it and it's like, well, if I ask this now, it feels kind of forced and changes just the natural vibe we have talking about everything. So I'm like, I'll put it back for another time.
I'm
But
happy to come back. Yeah.
yeah, because I still want to talk about kink and everything. But there's one thing I do want to, this was a personal story. So I discovered you, as you were saying before. Um, I think it was Shameless Sex back in the day. You came on there and you were talking about pegging because I was like, hey, I want my partner to peg me. I'm going to do research because my OCD and just everything. I'm like, I'm going to look into this. And I shit you not, listening to you talk about the harnesses on the very first time I listened to you talk about it on Shameless Sex, you said like people go in and buy this $20 rig and expect to have a good time. It's horrible. It's horrendous. You need to invest in a good harness. And I'm like, okay. And me and my wife, we went to Lover's Lane
Mhm.
and she's like, oh, what about this one? And I'm like, wait, Rain was just, let's look elsewhere. Let's do some, like, no shade. I'm on the $20 rig that's going to dig into your thighs and barely hold the cock.
There's
We went
nothing
to
worse than
Etsy.
your dick falling off mid-thrust. It
That, yep,
really,
you absolutely said that. And that has happened to us before
yeah,
on the
yeah.
low
You
rigs. So I
need a
finally
high
went,
quality.
but I can't remember the store. So I'll try and remember and give them a shout out. But it was this beautiful leather harness, purple, sturdy. She still has it. It's lasted 6, 7 years. The O-rings, everything fits comfortably. Forever thankful to have educated myself on your information to know that, yeah, that $20 rig would have made it horrible. I would be like, whatever, I'm
It
just
wouldn't
never
have
gonna
been
try this
fun.
again.
And if
No.
you and I have actually I have gotten grief for that. One of my core principles is I strongly believe this. I will say it to the day I die. You need to invest in high quality toys. And
Yes, you
what
did.
the
Yep, yep.
grief that I get is that people that tell me that I'm classist and elitist because not
Really?
everybody can afford high quality toys. And I'm shaming people and
No.
I'm being a snob. And what I'm saying is you're not going to get that much out of a $20 toy or a $20 harness. You're going to use it, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's not going to work. You're not going to get your money's worth. Whereas
No.
if you save and you pay 5 times as much, my favorite
Yep.
harnesses are SpareParts harnesses and
Yes. Spare parts.
yeah, and Vic skin or cyber skin dildos. And that those are roughly 120 each. So you're
Yeah.
looking at $240 for a harness and a toy. And people are like, I can't
That's
afford
too
200.
much.
Drink a little less coffee, man. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
spend 2 or 3 months saving towards that, and the reward and pleasure and payoff you're gonna get from taking your time and investing in high quality toys is absolutely 1,000% worth it.
Yes.
I will always say that, but people are like, you don't understand. And I'm like, I would rather not have a toy than have a shitty toy that I don't want to use.
Yeah. And then
would
you regret
not,
buying it and you're like, I'm
yeah,
just going to throw it away. I've had plenty of
yes.
that with not to, they can come at me if they want. Cal Exotics. We've bought so many toys from that brand. None of them have ever lasted a month. They've
Mhm,
broken the tech
mhm,
just, and I always like to come back to people when they say that. I'm like, go look in your kitchen right now. Is everything in your kitchen brand name or do you have all generic stuff? Go into your bathroom. Is it all generic or is it all? I'm like, you do spend money on higher quality stuff and
mhm,
you don't complain about it. But when it
mhm,
comes to like a sex toy or something, like, yes, you're probably not going to use it every day unless you have a high libido, which go on, you do
mhm,
you. But like you said, it's worth it for the experience, the longevity. It's absolutely worth the money.
mhm.
And that
That
was one thing I wanted to make sure I brought up with you because I'm like, that was an amazing learning experience.
education.
Yeah.
It's what I do is if I can help one other person on this planet feel comfortable with their sexuality, more comfortable in their skin, because
Mm-hmm.
when we're nourished, when we have that dopamine, life is just easier. And you're going to get more
Yeah.
dopamine from a proper pegging with the right equipment than this uncomfortable harness that's digging at you and your dick's falling off and it's not comfortable at all. I believe that I have helped a lot of people through the power of anal sex.
Absolutely. And it's amazing. And
Right,
we
right.
could also say, we have to say, yeah, if you haven't had your dick fallen off during pegging, it's not fun. The
It's
misalignment,
very
the
distracting.
moment, it's
It,
very
it
like,
and you
let's
got to
just
pick
wrap
it
it up.
up, like try and get the lint off of it, try to
Yeah.
redock. It's
God,
just very, yeah. And then if you do miss any of the lint, you're then packing it inside you. Not good. No,
that's
so
not what I want
spare
inside
parts
me now.
harness, for me, so the O-ring in a spare parts harness is actually built in, and it's
Yes,
incredibly
yes.
stretchy and adaptable. So you'll never have to worry about the O-ring, and it can fit like basically the ring. It's amazing. It's a magic ring. It's something this
Right.
big, something this big. It all stays docked in the harness and it never falls
Oh.
off and it's got adjustable velcro straps so it is completely comfortable, flat bands, and it's up against your
Hmm.
one of the things that I find very distracting is if the harness and the toy is not flush against my torso, and when I pull out it
Hmm.
like there's a little suction and it kind of drags away and it keeps like
Yeah.
getting off of my torso. You want the harness to not only stay on but be flush against your torso. And
Right.
and spare parts is absolutely the best for me, in all of the harnesses that I've tried.
Yeah.
I
See?
I'm glad that I was able to help you get some thrilling butt stuff in your life. You're very welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that's where we'll stop for now. But we are definitely, I'm saving this interview template. We're going to circle back to it.
Okay.
But of course, this is the part where for the boys, girls, theys, thems, where can they follow you, where they can support you? This is your chance to let them know where to find you.
Excellent. I'm Rain DeGrey everywhere. So Rain DeGrey on FetLife, Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have a Patreon and an OnlyFans. The Patreon is not really that much naked stuff. OnlyFans
Okay.
is 7 days a week and a fresh posting. I
Every
do
day.
games and stuff. It is interesting to me that people support more on the Patreon, even though there's less nakedness. Yeah,
Oh,
it's like by the
okay.
time someone is committed enough to me as an artist and that they show up on Patreon, they're
True.
not like expecting labia in their face. And
No.
I can post less and have more respectful people and earn more money through Patreon because it's that
Okay.
emotional connection that people have.
Yeah.
I have started a year-long nature photography project, which is there is some
Mm.
logic behind it. So if anyone has been listening to this, and one of the things that you heard me mention is the censorship and how studios are dying. And
Yes.
as someone who's deeply committed to education and sexuality and learning, I'm seeing. How long have you been doing this podcast for?
A little over a year now.
Have you noticed in the space of that year that it is harder to advertise, that it is more restrictive,
Yeah, the
right,
shadow bands,
the
and
shadow
this
band.
may contain like it's
Hmm.
me and it's the words.
It's getting
Like I
worse.
know, yeah.
Getting worse. So I'm doing a year-long nature photography book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing once a week posting. I'm Rain DeGrey on Substack as well, and it's
Oh,
only
okay.
nature. It's just nature, and the concept, I think it's kind of clever. Hear me out. Is it is a vanilla toehold where I can't be suppressed. So for a solid
They
year,
can't
I'm
censor
doing
flowers.
a once a week post of what I see around me in nature. I
Okay.
go for a walk, I document it, I gather all my thoughts, and I do a weekly post on Substack. And at the end of the year, the best of the images that I've done for this 52-week project is
Mm-hmm.
going to be compiled into a nature photography book that's going to be print on demand so anyone can order it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
not only does that mean that I can't be booted off that specific part of the internet, but it contains no sexuality. So if you go there and are like, I like the pictures of the trees, what else does Rain DeGrey do?
Right.
Oh, you can come check out the other stuff only if you want. But
Yeah.
in this day and age, I am seeing the value of having an absolutely vanilla, no sexy time. Now, granted, the people that are supporting me and the project are there because they're fans, because they happen to
True.
like my labia. But this isn't a project that is showcasing my labia. So deliberateDisconnection.com. Deliberate
Okay.
disconnection, all one word.
Love that word.
Yeah, so it's the concept of
Deliberate.
deliberately, it's self-care. I've gone back to the land. I live in the mountains.
Yeah.
There are just bears and moose everywhere. Look up Rain to Gray. I have a monthly newsletter that you can sign up for. And
Mm-hmm.
all of my classes or any of the events I'm doing will be pinned posts on the top of all of my social media.
Okay.
And this is the second podcast I've done this week where I talked so much, they're like, we need to do a part two. We
Right.
haven't gotten
Hey.
through all of the questions.
And that's okay. I mean, I absolutely would not mind hanging out with my friend Rain again. So there you go. All right. Well, Rain, well, thank you for your time. Stay safe, stay slutty, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into suburban slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into suburban slut.